I am Chad Carr, or Chad Skiz, depending on what I'm doing. I'm a singer, songwriter, producer, actor, model with Natalie Sparrow Management. I grew up in the small town of Mitchell, South Dakota. My parents have been divorced since I was around 7 years old, and I grew up bouncing back and forth between my mom and dad. Honestly, I didn't mind it so much. In my teens is where I started to get a grasp of who I was, running with friends, doing whatever we did, and it was fun. I met a few great people and had some pretty interesting experiences along the way. Those are the years I also started to realize that maybe it's not always best to follow the crowd. So I ended up doing my own thing eventually and enjoyed the freedom that came with that. I began to march to my own beat. Music has always been an integral part of my life. I always loved what it could do. It moves, it heals, it helps, and sometimes it can hurt. Music has always run through my veins, so I decided to dive in and see what I could do. When I was about 18, I put together my own cover album using instrumentals of YouTube because that was the only thing that I could do at the time. I couldn't play anything to save my life. I tried. And that part of things, I never really had the passion or patience for. Everything else, though, I could figure out. And I became good at it. The process of creating the cover album was my first real taste at the complexities of producing vocals. It wasn't exactly radio-worthy, but it wasn't too bad either. I loved what I was doing, and I wanted to do more. After a while, I really wanted to pursue making my own original content, but life happened. I ended up moving around kind of a lot in South Dakota. Ended up living in Nevada for a while too, eventually coming here to Fargo, North Dakota, where I really began to pursue my music career. I traveled down different avenues to make it happen, and as fate, the universe, luck, whatever would have it, I met my producer Jeremy through an online ad. It sounds like sort of the beginning of a romantic story or something, huh? It's not. But I feel we do have a pretty cool connection whenever it comes to making music and bringing what I hear in my head to life. After about a year in Fargo is when I joined Natalie Sparrow Management, and with her, I traveled to Chicago to a talent showcase called Launch, where I got to perform in front of some incredible artists, producers, managers, agents, people who have worked with Michael Jackson, Katy Perry, and even made a couple movie soundtracks. Pretty impressive stuff. I remember getting on stage feeling a little nervous, but all in all, I was okay. It was my first real life performance in front of that many people, let alone that caliber of people. My music started, I took a breath, put the microphone up, and like a dam giving way, all of the nerves and my overly active imagination hit me like a freight train. It was pretty bad. Looking back at the video my manager took, it didn't look as bad as it felt, but you could definitely see the moment all of the confidence I had walking on stage wash away. After the performance and about an hour or so of beating myself up, I decided I would never allow myself to choke like that on stage again. The rest of the weekend-long showcase went along pretty decently. I got some good advice from the managers and agents that watched me totally screw up on stage, and went home to work on everything once again. Live and learn, right? Fast forward a year or two, I finally made and released my debut album, Daybreak. But I had no idea what I was doing as far as promotion. But I ended up getting on a couple local radio stations, music blogs, and my album even hit over 42,000 streams on Spotify, which is pretty cool. I love seeing how people were responding to my songs and loved all the experiences it had brought me thus far. So I planted my head in the ground and got to work on more, learning from all the experiences and mistakes I had made in the past, and even picked up a few new tricks. Which brings us to now.